Alright, another Drake equation video. Ooh, yeah, I know, I really do have to document these videos, order this stuff, so we don't redundantly go over and over this stuff. And so this video probably will be of no value. No stunningly new insight. But it needs to be done over and over again. I mean, these arguments just keep coming up. So great text again he has inserted. He's made number one, a stupid point. That somehow antinatalism is contingent on the idea that there's no life in the universe. Well, it's not, okay? The laws of physics make it irrelevant. If there's life in the universe, just absolutely irrelevant. Meaningless, nothing, nonsense. Just of no significance whatsoever. Nothing we can do for them, nothing they can do for us. So pointless. And if I was so inclined as to send a mission to go clean the universe, I'd send robots, I'd send machines to do it. Great text, I wouldn't send people to do it. Idiot. I'd send nanobots to do it. Anyway, but really, it's irrelevant to this circumstance. It's irrelevant to this patient in this hospital bed. Really, you don't go talking about what's going on in other hospital beds. There's somebody yelling and screaming in your hospital bed. You don't say, well, there's tons of other people yelling and screaming in other hospital beds. So what? I'll walk away. Yeah, fuck you. It's just nonsense. That doesn't change anything. So anyway, to the point of the Drake equation, the idea that life is prolific in the universe, and that we can draw that conclusion because it happened here, and so therefore it's proof that it happens. And it happens all over the place. That's just nonsense. The probability argument is you can't tell the difference from one sample between a 1 in a gazillion lottery and a 1 in 1 lottery. The win is going to look exactly the same. So you can't make a positive statement based on one sample. That's the rule of probability. What you have to have is other evidence. You have to turn to the other circumstantial evidence. My argument is that all the other circumstantial evidence, every single piece of it, supports high probability, not 1 in 1 probability. Okay, supports the idea that life is extraordinarily rare, if not unique, and does not support any notion that it happens all over the place. It's all negative evidence, not positive evidence, for the idea of life existing somewhere else in the universe. So let's run down the evidence real quick. The external evidence is that by logical deduction, one could assume, one understands that we did not originate with the birth of the universe. We are in the middle of the universe's lifespan, if we can call it that. We're certainly somewhere far into it, not day one. There are much older pieces of the universe, much planets that formed and died, novas that blew, suns that existed. All that crap happened before we got here. And if life had formed as it does, prolifically as you speculate, in the universe, it would have done so previously. If it was possible for it to travel through space, it would have done so previously. Billions and billions and billions of years before the first cell even reproduced on Earth. And it didn't. And quite obviously, there's no evidence of a signature, no vapor trails left behind by its light-speed space cruisers, no beacons, no Eat It Joes, neon signs blinking out there in space. Quite obviously, no intelligence has mastered the universe, because if they had, they would be sending signals, they would be advertising their existence, because we know what the egos will do, quite obviously. That's what an intelligence would do, would say, I must find something else and see if it has 3 boobies. You know, it's just so stupid. So anyway, so yeah, the external evidence is 0. And it indicates no intelligent life has arisen in the universe. Alright, then you got, yeah, especially when the universe was much closer together billions of years ago, it would have been even less distance for all this stuff to travel. Let's not even get into that. So that's all that physics crap. But anyway, alright, where was I? Yeah, so there's no external evidence of the arisal of life, the evolution of it to a sentient form, and the subsequent development of the fluke of high intelligence. So again, I will argue on this planet, just as an argument against life evolving into something intelligent, because each one of these has barriers. Sentience has a barrier, sense organs themselves have a barrier. All these things have a probability statistic associated with their likelihood as chemical phenomenon. Each level of complexity requires a new set of special circumstances, new special storm conditions to exist for that thing to develop. And intelligence, human intelligence, did, as we know from the history, arise here before the humans had anything to do with it. It was a potential bestowed on the organism far greater than what it was functionally using it for, which is a rare event in evolution. Evolution tends to give organisms capacities that are immediately useful, not useful 10,000 years later, when they write stuff in books and go to school for 12 hours a day. I guess it's 8, but it seems like 12. Anyway, yeah, so even our human intelligence may be something we could all write a theorem about how rare a probability it would be for any other subsequent organism to develop this kind of intelligence. We have examples of organisms that have been around for hundreds of millions of years without changing in any substantial manner. And the reason why they haven't changed is because they are effectively perfect to their situation. And there is no need to gain any extra intelligence, because they have all the intelligence they need to consume their prey. Mosquitoes, for example, dragonflies, hundreds of millions of years. No adaptation to that predator, because the predator doesn't need to change. There's no motivation to acquire higher intelligence in most organisms. Intelligence doesn't make you better at the real fight that takes place in nature. And it only helps in some kind of backward manner, where if you can develop this intelligence, it might have some sort of use. But again, it comes with this double-edged sword, where we haven't even truly been tested by natural selection yet, in that we've only existed as intelligent organisms for a few thousand years, and we've only had the nuclear bomb for less than 100. So there's no evidence yet that we even have a survivable intelligence. Intelligence is more liability than advantage, as it may well turn out, and which seems, by logical deduction, once again, probable. That the obstacles we need to overcome, not to destroy, do seem daunting and impassable. Yeah, so and then the other angle to this, which I don't kind of have time for, is the fact that here on Earth, there's no duplicate living thing. Zillions and zillions of tons of dead body parts littering the surface of this planet, dripping into caves miles deep, on top of mountains. It's all over the place, this humus. And yet nothing arises out of it. No little zombie life form that modifies the DNA slightly or modifies the design of the cell slightly has arisen. Nothing. Nothing. Everything alive on this planet is descendant to one reproducing cell approximately 4 billion years ago. And that's it. One model, one time. That is glaring evidence that life, reproducing cells, do not happen regularly. It's not a common event. It's a preposterously rare, at best, event. And I would argue that there's every reason to believe that that rareness extends to perhaps infinite permutation. But anyway, the point is all the collateral evidence indicates low probability, not high probability, and that's what you have to draw your conclusions based on. You can't simply say, I won the lottery, winning the lottery is easy, blah, blah, blah. That's a moron's conclusion. It's a simpleton's conclusion. It's just flat out illogical, unreasonable, and therefore irrational. It's patently ignorant and stupid. It's wrong. That's right, it's wrong. It's wrong. So, enough said. Anyway, yes, the weather has turned a little foul. But, you know, well, we had some really great days. So we were due for it. But it does feel better having to go to work when the weather is foul. Yeah, it does. So anyway, a little bit of wind. Hopefully the camera will tolerate it. So anyway, till the next time, and such.